Yo, what's up everybody? Welcome back for another episode of Into the Floo. In today's episode, I'm going to showcase a few pieces of art that were from one of the artists who worked for Wizards of the Coast back in the early 2000s, worked specifically on the Harry Potter TCG. So two of these pieces of art that I'm going to show you are recreations from one of the cards that went into print and one of the cards that never went into print. And the third piece of art is a sketch, the original sketch, for one of the cards that never made it to print. So just to kind of give you guys what one of the cards would have looked like had it made it to print. So this artist's name is David Day. He worked for Wizards of the Coast as well as some of the other really big companies out there working on other TCGs and comic books. So I'm sure his name might be familiar to some of you. While he was working for Wizards of the Coast, he sketched 30 different pieces of art for 30 different cards. Only 8 of them made it into print. So I'm going to showcase what those 8 are so that as you guys play your game or look through the cards or whatever, you might find them familiar. But without any further shenanigans on my part, let's get into this. I'll show you guys everything that I'm talking about, and I hope you enjoy. All right, so let's get into it. As I mentioned, this artist's name is David Day. When he worked for Wizards of the Coast, he did 30 different drawings for the cards for the Harry Potter TCG. Only 8 of them made it into print. 8 phenomenal cards, beautiful art. So let's show them. So the first one that I'm going to show you from David Day is Fumos, Hair Raising Potion, Color Changing Ink, Dragon Dung Compost, Flipendo, Into the Floo Powder, Restoration Potion, Looking for Trevor. All right, so these cards might look familiar to you. They're great cards, wonderful art. A lot of us use these cards in our everyday decks. So again, phenomenal artist. Really, really good job. All right, so this is going to be the first piece of art that I show you guys today. David Day drew this for Wizards of the Coast for the Harry Potter TCG back in the early 2000s. This card never made it into print for one of the cards. He tells me that it would have been a spell, so it would have looked something like this. It would have had a spell and then instructions for us to do something to our opponent, and then this artwork would have been right in here. So it's just really cool to see what some of the cards would have been. I think a lot of us who have been in this game for a while, and even some of us who are brand new, knowing the history of the game and knowing that it sort of stopped abruptly, many of us kind of think like, well, what would some of the other cards have looked like? So this is an example of one of them, or what was going through the minds of some of these creators, right? So maybe this one specifically would have never been in print, but nonetheless, it at least shows us where the story was taking us. And so it just kind of leads us into thinking like, so what was the spell, or what would it have been, or would it have been a charm, transfiguration, something like that. So anyway, I really dig the art. I totally think it's absolutely phenomenal. Now, this is a recreation, which means this specific drawing was submitted to Wizards of the Coast for a card. However, this one that I have in my possession was sketched specifically for me by David Day, the original artist. So it says right here, recreation, which means that the original one is not in his possession, not in my possession. It might be with Wizards of the Coast still. I don't know. But this was one of the ones from his memory that he knew was going to be, was one of the cards that he had drawn. And so he redrew it for me. So it says Harry Potter TCG, never printed, Spider Danger, Harry Potter card game, David Day. So again, just another really cool piece of art just for us to look at and see where the artist's mind was, and just kind of bringing to life what we know from this specific story. So we know that this is when Harry and Ron are in the Forbidden Forest. It's when they're trying to get rid of all these spiders attacking them in Aragog's lair. Just bringing to life parts of the story that we all love so much, and just kind of showcasing that imagination from a lot of these artists. All right, that brings us to most potent potions. So this here is not a recreation. It is an original sketch by David Day that was submitted for an item card, but it was never printed. So David Day completed this art and it never went into print. So this is, again, like I said, the original one that he submitted to Wizards of the Coast and then had in his possession that he sold to me. So another really cool example of where these artists were, where their mind was, what they were trying to do. It just shows so much detail from the books that we know, from the story that we love. And it's just another really good example of where the cards could have been, where the flavor, as Emilio Soto says. So, you know, I don't know what this might have been, what it would have said, but it was going to be an item card. Again, never printed, but it is the original sketch. Most potent potions, and I just totally love it. It's I guess it's like some water right here, and this book. He said it's supposed to be like a bathroom floor, so that's pretty cool. Been there for quite some time, I suppose. So just really good, just really, really wonderful detail with all those cracks in the tile there. I just totally love it. So I'll try to zoom in here, get as close as I can to some of the details. All right, everybody, and the last thing that I'm going to show you is this piece of art David Day made specific for me. I ordered it from him, and so I was able to kind of add some customizations and all that stuff. And so this is from the Color Changing Ink card that many of us love. This is definitely one of my favorites for sure from the whole collection. I absolutely love this art. It's simple and it's not all at the same time. So great imagination in there. Absolutely love it. I don't know exactly what this says here. I don't know if it's supposed to say anything specific. I think it's just a bunch of mumbo jumbo. But what I had him write was the opening line that started it all for me personally. And it started it, I'm sure, for all of you, right? Which is, Mr. and Mrs. Dursley of number 4 Privet Drive were proud to say that they were perfectly normal. Thank you very much. That is the first sentence from the first book that started it all. So I thought nothing else would have been perfect, but that specifically, so that's what I had him do. And this right down here is just a collection of a variation of this card, and I just had him sign each one. So this is going to be the English non-foil, this is the Japanese non-foil, and that is the English foil card. All right, everybody, that's going to do it for today's episode. Thank you so much for joining me and looking at some of David Day's artwork, as well as the 2 never printed pieces of art. Let me know what you thought of both of those and what you may have thought the spell card would have been or what the item card would have said. Who knows, right? But at least we could talk about it. So anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed today's episode, and be safe. All right, everybody, that'll do it for today's episode. I hope you enjoyed looking at some of David Day's artwork, some that you may have seen in the cards and some that you haven't. If you have any questions for me, you can leave a comment below or follow me at Harry Potter Morrissey, and you can DM me there. And as far as getting in touch with David Day, he does have a Facebook page. If you have any questions that you want me to ask him or see if he's open to doing some art or anything like that, please let me know. He's a really, really nice guy and an overall phenomenal artist, as you can tell. So anyway, stay safe. Thanks for joining me.